Hello Magic the Gathering fans and welcome to my first video. As you can probably see by the title, we're going to be talking about underrated commanders. Now I'd like to begin this video by saying that I am speaking from my findings. These decks may be more popular in other places, but I hardly see them, and I would like to see more of them being played. Without any further ado though, let's begin. Let's begin in WUBRG order, starting with Cho Mano Revolutionary. Now I've never seen someone play him as a commander, and with good reason. White is usually slower than most decks in Commander, we all know this. But being able to play the game and not take any damage could really help. Let me explain. Cho Mano is a card that reads prevent all damage that would be dealt to Cho Mano, which isn't the best ability on its own, but we're not done there. You usually play this card with things like Pariah Shield, Pariah, Worship, Indestructible, Brave the Suns, the list goes on. You just make Cho Mano you blocker and fortify yourself behind a big old pillar fort, leaving everyone else to murder each other until you've done what you need to do to win. And who doesn't love Ghostly Prison, Sphere of Safety, and a nice old Sophie doll to keep old Cho Mano happy? If you don't like Cho Mano as your commander, but like him as a card, don't worry. He fits into a few other decks, with many running him in Sisay. You don't like him in Sisay there either? Why not just go a few sets back and make yourself a good old Rebel tribal deck with Lyn Civvy at the handle and shoot her rebels till the cows go home. Next up in blue we have one of my favourite commanders, Jellera Master Polymorphist. She reads, tap 2 and a blue, sacrifice another creature, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card. Put that card into the battlefield and the rest onto the bottom of your library in any random order. If you're asking how you play this card, I have no idea what to tell you. You control the field until you lay down the big guns. You control the board and you play cards that like to be sacrificed, like Reefworm and Wonder, while playing some good old token producers and sacrifice them to Jellera to turn them into It That Betrays, Void Winnowers, Blightsteel Colossus, Wormcoil Engine. This list is endless and absolutely disgusting. But if you don't like running her on her own as the commander, don't worry. My personal suggestion is always Meriek and Rabinia. That way you don't have to sacrifice your own creatures. You just borrow one of theirs for a little bit, sacrifice it, put down a little, I don't know, It That Betrays, smack them in the face, you know, all that good stuff. Kokusho the Evening Star is my pick for black here, and I understand why people wouldn't pick him, but I see this guy in a different light. No one wants this poor boy to die, it would hurt them too much, which is why I think he works perfectly in a deck made to do nothing but reanimate him. You ever played against Gonti and that vicious cycle of rebirth? Well, imagine a good punch to the face every time he goes to the graveyard, rather than just taking up a card. I can see this guy being run alongside Bontu, Sheldred, Sanguine Bond, Defiant Bloodlord, and a lot of other stuff like that. It's mono black. After all, we're not short on death, and that extra life gain is a massive help. But where else would this guy fit? Well, most places with dragons being able to take him into their decks, most reanimating Aristocrat decks being perfect for him if you really want to squeeze him in there. But I prefer him on his own. I am actually thinking about building a deck around him after this. He's such a beautiful beast. For red, Daochen is a card that reads, tap, destroy target creature of your choice, then destroy target creature of an opponent's choice. Which would lead many to think of targeting Daochan, but we won't let them. With Generals Kabuto, Lightning Greaves, Darksteel Plate and Darksteel Forge to protect everything else, we'll be making our boards an outbound area, forcing the opponents to think politically amongst themselves before they can get away to kill you. Prepare to be the target if you pull this off right. Unfortunately, this girl doesn't fit in many other places however, and you can see why. Without the proper setup, she could be your own damnation. Prove me wrong in the comments below though, I always love seeing something new. Finally, for green, we have Jolrael, Empress of Beasts. She's weird, and a great card, reading tap 2 and a green, discard 2 cards, all lands target player controls become 3/3 creatures until end of turn. They're still lands. With the right table and correct cards, this can put a person back to square one or win you the game. With Vitalize to reset your mana or Triumph of Hordes to turn all your lands into 4/4 and threat creatures, this can be dangerous, but game winning. However, I prefer partnering with someone to turn an opponent's lands into creatures and then board wiping. Yeah, there's a special place in hell waiting for me. I see her fitting into most land creature decks, being able to speed the process of creating 1 or 2 lands a turn into the whole damn table for a turn. But I feel she would work absolutely brilliantly in most decks that have a lot of board wipes. Only because it'd be a good way to gain some friends. Right? Yeah. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Who are your favourite commanders that you never see? Or who do you see too much of? If you liked this episode, press the like button down below, and maybe subscribe for more. But until next time, cheerio.